I am Maria Garcia de Fleury. Óscar was born in Corbie, France in the year 801. He was a great scholar who from a very young age was a student of the Benedictines at Corbie Abbey near Amiens in northern France. There he later returned to become a monk and was then appointed internal teacher, a position he held in the new Corbie community born in Saxony. He asked to go and evangelize the Norman towns so fearsome at that time, and with only 25 years old, Oscar left for Denmark with the new King Harold that he had just baptized. There he founded a school, but after only 1 year, the king was forced to leave the throne and the missionaries also had to withdraw. In the company of the ambassador of Ludovico Pio, he then entered Sweden and preached the gospel there. Although they had been attacked on the way and had apparently abandoned their mission, Oscar managed to enter the country and was received favorably by the king, who allowed him to preach. The king was tolerant of the preaching of faith in Christ, so much so that the chief of the royal counselors, Herigar, converted and built the first church in Sweden. They considered it a new belief as the religion of outsiders and prisoners of war. But the results were so good that the new emperor, Ludovico Pio, encouraged the birth of a new ecclesiastical structure in these lands, which was based in Hamburg. Thus, Oscar became bishop and then the first archbishop of Hamburg in 1832. However, Sweden and Denmark restored paganism in 845. Oscar had to repeat all his work again and even thwart a pagan rebellion. In Sweden, he managed to build a church and leave a priest in charge. He returned to Denmark, where King Erik had expelled the priests. Oscar managed to turn King Erik's enmity into friendship and bring back the priests, build a church, and introduced the use of bells, which the pagans considered magical instruments. He also convinced the Viking king to mitigate the horrors of the slave trade. When King Ludovico Pio died, the empire also began to crumble due to the incursions of invading people such as the Normans, who devastated the territories of northern Europe in those years. The destructive Viking wave also reached Hamburg, so much so that Oscar was forced to take refuge in Bremen, where, as bishop, he spent the last years of his life working on publishing a Bible for the poor. Some fragments of that ancient Bible are preserved in the city's cathedral. St. Oscar was noted for his piety, mortification, observance of the monastic rule, his humility and modesty in the face of his apostolic successes. He built churches, hospitals, rescued captives, sent large alms abroad. He wrote several works, although very little of it has remained. Throughout his life, St. Oscar suffered many setbacks. He died in Bremen on February 3rd, 865, without having realized the dream of a profound evangelization of Northern Europe, but with the joy of having sown in those lands the first small seed of the announcement of faith in Christ, because he lived convinced that with God we always win.